Hey, this is Tiqqle, and in this video, we're talking about the Shaman changes and overall changes that are coming out in Dragonflight on December 6th. These tuning changes, and you'll be happy and upset to know, are affecting many classes. There's nerfs to Demon Hunters, there's nerfs to DKs, there's also nerfs to our beloved Enhanced Shaman. We'll go over the Shaman changes. There's some good news for Resto, but let's go ahead and jump into it. The very first thing, and the most important thing to highlight here is that the post on Wowhead that says massive class tuning changes is not the full picture. Very important that you know this because there are a lot more changes coming to town other than what's listed in this post. I don't know if Wowhead maybe dropped the ball a little bit in terms of keeping this updated. No blame. A lot's going on. But if you go down to the Shaman section of the PvP changes, this is PvP specifically, Enhance is getting nerfed, where improved Maelstrom weapon increases the damage and healing of spells by 5 to 15%, and it was 10 to 20%. As well as Raging Maelstrom increases the effectiveness of Maelstrom weapon by 3% in PvP combat, was 5. Overall, this is a big drawback and a big decrease in damage from our spenders. Our spenders, if you haven't been paying attention, are doing a huge amount of damage. Number one, Alley Blast is just chunking people. It's doing. I heard that people are potentially even one-shotting people. But more even impressive has been Primordial Wave and Lightning Bolt. That has been doing 100k, and then it repeats because it's Primordial Wave and does even more damage off the rip. And that is pretty wild. So with this, that's going to take that. Maybe some could argue maybe that was too ridiculous in the current state of things. If you're blessed enough to get to 70 already and you're able to enjoy it while you can. Farm those BGs, get it done, but you only have a little bit of time left before the 6th. Now, honestly, well, again, we'll go into the full list of changes here in a second, but it is worth noting that we kind of called it. I mean, we kind of knew that spenders were running a nerf for Enhance, and to be honest with you, we're lucky that it wasn't just maybe it would have been better off if it was just Alley Blast. But Alley Blast also is chunking on it Alley Shamans. If you have been going into PvP, you'll be seeing some people throwing Alley Blast at you, which potentially overload, and they are doing an insane amount of damage. Somebody said 250k damage from those. So overall, yeah, Alley Blast is hitting pretty hard. Yeah, Enhance is doing pretty good. Well, relatively good. But Enhance still doesn't have the full package. The full package, if you read this, they're taking away our spenders. Well, what do we have left? Enhancement Shamans, honestly, their biggest bang for the buck right now, the biggest slammers are the spenders. We're not like a DH. A DH goes into Goku mode and just starts hacking everybody up and is just always doing huge amounts of damage. Similarly with Fury Warriors, always having a high sustained damage. Where's the sustained damage for Enhance? Well, we used to have it, but then we got nerfed by 25%, which then was quickly, regrettably adjusted a little bit. I think it was by 10%. So it kind of came down to 10-15% total. It got really confusing. I'm going to be honest with you. Those changes kind of back and forth and undoing and doing, very confusing. But let's go ahead and go to the full picture because I want to show you the full list of changes. And by the way, these will be down in the comment in the description. This is the full set of tuning changes. Okay, so we're working on the state of tuning in Dragonflight. However, the following changes are scheduled to be implemented on Tuesday. Now, there's a lot of things in here, like I said, that are not, but there are some other things like, for example, Fire Mage getting buffed. Exsanguinate is getting significantly nerfed. Shaman, good news for those Resto Shamans. If you're still out there and you didn't go the Dragon Green Smoke class, basically Resto Shaman with the 5% buff. We needed it, that's for sure. Acid Rain getting a 50% increased damage. And that is very important because Acid Rain, even though it was born in Torghast, it is very, very fun, and I really enjoy it. So I'm hoping that does a lot of damage. We don't have Earth Ellie Earthquake anymore, so it's it is what it is. Now, these are only PvE changes. If we go down to the PvP section, this is where things really change versus what I was just looking at. Let's go ahead. Again, you can go ahead. I'll put the links down here. But here it is. Oh, wow. There's an entire section for Ellie. There's an entire section for Enhance that includes some buffs. Now, Enhance, again, the same changes I just talked about with our spenders are getting indeed nerfed. But the good news is this. Storm Strike and Wind Strike are getting a 30% damage increase only in PvP, but in PvP. So so basically a 30% increase of damage, which means that maybe Storm Strike won't feel like it's Rock Biter. And maybe with the increased damage from gathering storms by storm flurry, by other means, this could actually do decent big damage. I really hope that it does, because right now all it does is it feels like you're building, it's just a builder for a builder spender in a boring way. Now, the developer notes, and by the way, Blizzard, if you're here, thank you so much for including developer notes, because to be honest with you, that's what we need to know. Like, what the heck are you thinking? Why are you doing this? And if you said LA Blast was too strong, then I would be totally happy with it. So let's go ahead, just reading through. Damage and healing from fully stacked Maelstrom weapons are higher than intended. I don't think anyone's surprised by that. So we're reducing the value of the associated talents. Separately, we like for enhancement sustained damage to be more well-rounded. So we're increasing Storm Strike's damage. Huge move. Very smart move. I love it. I want Enhanced Shaman to be on the same playing field as a Demon Hunter. A Demon Hunter goes into Goku Illidan Daddy form and just starts shitting on stuff, man. That's what an Enhancement Shaman needs to be able to do. You get a proc of a Storm Strike, increasing the damage of it. Hey, Storm Flurry procs on a proc, so that would be what we want to see happen. Now, I would have loved them to also maybe tweak up Wind Fury damage a little bit, or but I don't see it, but that's okay. So we'll see what happens. I actually think that this makes Doom Winds more important. It makes there be a little bit more fun in the build. Now, while I like the control of giving a spender a one-shotting, one-banging ability, fun for a little bit, but to be honest, that's not even your class doing the work anymore. You're just pressing a button that's broken. So this is actually, they're nerfing the ridiculousness. I get it. I know some people are not going to like me saying that, but that's what it is. With the Storm Strike, 30% increased damage could potentially be pretty game-changing, especially because I do think Enhance is lacking in sustained damage. And unfortunately, this also does nerf our healing, which is probably okay, because if Enhanced Shaman is only standing on its healing, that's the only thing it's doing, is just dampening, then I will not play Enhancement Shaman. So plain and simple, you know what I'm saying? We want to do Slam Daddy damage, okay? Next, we haven't even talked about an Ellie this video yet, but here we are. There is a section for Ellie. It's not in the massive class tuning post. It's only in the class tuning incoming post. Now, Elemental Shaman, like I was just saying, Ellie Blast is cranking. It is what it is. So Ellie, Magma Chamber effectiveness reduced by 50% in PvP. Developer notes, Earthshock and Ellie Blast from Ellie Shamans is dealing more damage than intended with high stacks from Magma Chamber, so we're lowering its effects in PvP. Now that's it for changing, but let's go ahead. Let's just quickly remind you. Magma Chamber is Flame Shock, increases the damage of your next Earthshock or Ellie Blast by 0.8%, stacking 20 times. So they're basically making it stack 0.4%. Now listen, this is quite a bit, okay? The increased damage is going down quite a bit, but I will say this. Ellie Blast was probably hitting too hard. They could have done a lot of other things. And to be honest, this did not nerf Lava Burst, which is going to be your main squeeze here, ladies and gentlemen. I'll only promise you that. Earthshock, you won't even be worrying too much about it, but you do want to shove it in there, you know what I mean? Especially if it's getting crits. So, okay, listen, I hear it sounds like our peaks of our DPS burst are too much. I get it, and I'm glad that that's the only thing they're adjusting, especially because we have, I don't know how the tier sets are going to work, but I know the tier set works into this in case of that. And again, this is just PvP, by the way. So with that being said, guys, I just want to go over these changes. I overall think, where is Shaman in the meta right now? Enhance, Ellie, they're both just doing insane burst damage. Ellie's being brought back down a little bit, but Ellie is still out of this world. It is super strong. I'm super happy with Ellie Shaman, the mobility that it has, as well as being ready for solo queue with some of the builds. We have new PvP videos and guides in the works for this channel, as well as on Icy Veins. Let me know if you have any questions, or definitely come by the stream for that. For Enhance, listen, I'm really worried about Enhance, because if we're just healers, no one's going to be happy. If our buttons don't do damage in a sustained way, that we can compete with a Fury Warrior, a Rep Paladin, or a DH. I'll say it. I'll say DH. I'll say it. I know a lot of people were playing Enhanced went to Windwalker because they were scared of this exact thing. And guess what? Windwalker's hitting pretty hard. But I'll be honest, I hope this change right here of Storm Strike does bring us back to sustained damage that is very, very strong. So with that being said, guys, I will have, again, an enhanced guide coming out soon. I'm going to start working on some PvE things as well, but we have a lot of things in the works. Also some dungeon guides. Hopefully we can get going. So with that being said, guys, thank you so much for the support. Make sure to hit that like button and that sub button down below. We do stream every day, Eastern Standard Time, 9 p.m. over on twitch.tv/Tiqqle this. The link is down below. Come by if you have any questions. Come by to hang out. We have a lot of new people with the new expansion. A lot of new people trying Shaman, trying to figure it out, especially with people coming back from other expansions. It's a good place to ask those questions and figure it out. So with that being said, chat, and everybody here, we'll see you in the next one. Have a great week.